let's talk about theory of acid and base. So, and one aspect of the theory of acid and base I want to look at is called Bronsted-Lowry theory. Now, when it comes to what the theory of acid, we have about three theory here, but the one large majority of students are familiar with is called the Arrhenius theory of acid and base, where an acid, when dissolved in water, produces what hydrogen ion concentration, right? While a base, when dissolved in water, produces what hydroxide ion concentration. So this is the a concept of acid and base large majority of students are exposed to. Do you understand? Now, but one big aspect of acid and base that you keep on seeing in the exam all the time, one of the important aspects of acid and base is called the Bronsted-Lowry concepts. So in this video, I will go to explain every single thing to understand what we call Bronsted-Lowry concept. What is Bronsted-Lowry acid? What is Bronsted-Lowry base? Now, what are conjugate base pairs? How to identify them? Do you understand? So now we talk about Bronsted-Lowry concept here. Bronsted-Lowry concept means this is what proton. Yes, proton. Now what is proton? Proton is what is H plus. Yeah. And what is H plus? H plus is hydrogen that have lost electron. Do you understand? So in the sense that we talk about Bronsted-Lowry concept, it actually what deals with what the transfer of hydrogen that have lost one electron. Do you understand? Now, when it comes to what Bronsted-Lowry acid here, Lowry acid, there. Bronsted-Lowry acid donates a proton. There. These are acids that would lose or donate a proton. There, or donate what proton. So you can say that these are acids that donate or lose proton. There, which is called H plus. There. So Bronsted-Lowry, when it comes to what acid in Bronsted-Lowry concept, these are substances that donate or lose what proton. Do you understand? Another thing you want to understand here is that whenever an acid donates a proton, it forms a conjugate base. Please pay close attention to that sentence, to that statement there. Whenever an acid donates a proton, it forms a conjugate base. So please take it down. Whenever an acid donates a proton, it forms what? Conjugates. Conjugate what? Base. A conjugate base is a very big base. Do you understand? Now, this called Bronsted-Lowry what acid here. Example is what is HCl. HCl, H2XO4, HNO3. Do you understand? These are what? These are acid, Bronsted-Lowry acid here. Now, let's look at what the conjugate Bronsted-Lowry base. What about Bronsted-Lowry base? Now we talk about Bronsted-Lowry bases. Now these are substances that gain what the proton. That other accept proton. So yeah, these are bases that accepts a proton, or that accept what protons. So those bases that accept proton, all those substances that accept proton, they are called Bronsted-Lowry what base. Now, another thing you want to understand here is that whenever a base accepts the proton, do you understand? Whenever a base accepts the proton, it forms a conjugate acid. So this is what you want to put in mind here. Whenever a base accepts a proton, it forms a conjugate acid. Now look at these two things here. Here we can start. Whenever an acid donates a proton, It forms what? A conjugate base, right? Why? Whenever a base accepts a proton, it forms what? A conjugate what? Acid. Very important. And this acid will be what? Weak acid. It will be what? Weak acid. Hope you understand. Now, a good example of Bronsted-Lowry base is what? NH3. Just so NH3 is a good example of what? Of Bronsted-Lowry what? Base. Although we say about that one, but this is what is common one. Just so now one thing about Bronsted-Lowry base here is that there's no hydrogen ion here, OH here. Just but it's still regarded as base. In Arrhenius theory, this guy will not be regarded as base. Just because what is a base in Arrhenius concept here? In Arrhenius concept, a base must have OH. Just but this one is not is a base, but it does not have OH. So in Arrhenius concept, this one is not regarded as base, but in Bronsted-Lowry concept, it is regarded as base. Now let's look at what a good example here. Let's look at what example. HCl plus what? NH3 is okay. Now this is what is the acid, and this is what is the base. Idea. Now is a reversible what? Reaction. Do you understand? Now an acid donates a proton. That is an acid always lose hydrogen. Do you understand? Why a base accept what? The hydrogen. Do you understand? Now this is the base here. If this guy should lose hydrogen, should lose hydrogen like this, move this hydrogen to that point here. Right? What will happen here? How many hydrogen do we have here previously? Here we have 3 hydrogen. But if you now gain 1 hydrogen, that becomes 4. So you now have what? NH4 plus. Now this is called ammonia. It's called ammonia. It's called ammonia. Idea. So when ammonia accept a proton which is hydrogen, now form ammonium ion. Ammonium what? Ion. Just plus. This is called hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride. Idea. Now when hydrogen chloride lose the hydrogen, what will left is what? Cl minus. Idea. This is called chlorine ion. Idea. Now this is the acid, this is the base. What is this? What is this? Right? Remember that whenever an acid don't or lose a proton to the base, it forms a what? A base. Idea. So what produces this guy is what? HCl losing what? Hydrogen here. So here we can say that. Let me know why this place out. Here we can say that this guy. Let me move from here. Here we can say this move to this. Idea. Why this move to this? This that. Now this guy is what? Is the acid. Now the acids form a conjugate base. Conjugate what? Base. Can you see that? Conjugate what? Base. So 2 of them are what? Conjugate base pairs. Right there. Conjugate acid base pairs here. You can call it. So 2 of them are pairs. So my conjugate pairs here are what? HCl slash what? Cl what? Minus. Right? Now this one is the acid. Here's what is conjugate what? Base. Just that. Now here is what is base here. Here we have this base. Right? Now this base accept a proton which hydrogen to form a conjugate acid. A conjugate what? Acid. This is that. What will happen here? Here we have what? Ammonia ion. They are what? They are pairs, conjugate pairs. So you have NH3 slash what? NH4 plus. Just that. They are what? They are what? Conjugate pairs. Just that, as easy as that. Now, if for example here we have HNO3 plus what? NH3. Now, for the sake of what? The Bronsted-Lowry concept here, Now the base I'm going to use more is what is NH3 and water. Do you understand? So now let's look at this one here. Now this guy will be the what? The acid. Right? Here will be the what? Here will be the what? The base. Right? Now this guy will lose proton to this other one here. Here we now have NH4 plus. Now what will happen here? Here we have NO3 minus, right? Which is what is base. So here we have conjugate acid. Conjugate what? Acid. And here we have what? Conjugate base. Now, if you ask now, what are the conjugate pairs? Now, HNO3 slash what? NO3 minus are your conjugate pairs, and what? NH3 slash what? NH4 are the what? Conjugate pairs here. As easy as that. You can see how easy it is. It's not difficult. Do you understand? Now, let's take another example here. H2SO4 plus what? H2O. Is okay. And you have H2O plus what? NH3. Okay. Now I'll show you something here. Now, here, water is reacting with what? With what? With an acid, right? Why? Yeah, water is reacting with a base. Now, what does that tell you? Now, whenever water is reacting with an acid, please pay close attention here. Whenever a water whenever water is reacting with an acid, now this water now become what? The base. Now become what? The base. Very important here. Do you understand? Now, whenever water is reacting with a base, this water behave like an acid. So in the sense that as water have the ability to act as either a base or acid depending on what is reacting with. So those substances that act as an acid and base are called amphoteric substances. Amphoteric substances. It's called amphoteric what? Substances. They are substances that can act as acid and base depending on what they are reacting with. So those substances that can act as acid and base are called amphoteric what? Substances. A good example is what? Is H2, which is called water. That's what you are seeing here. Is okay. So now let's look at this one here. Now remember, an acid will donate a proton, right? Remember, an acid will donate a proton. So it can lose what? One proton to this other one here. So what will happen here? So you have this guy, right? You have this one here to form what? H3O plus. Now what form this H3O plus? It is this water here, right? This water accept one hydrogen from here, right? Here to form H3O plus. Now remember, this guy have lost one hydrogen. We have two hydrogen here, but have lost one hydrogen. How many hydrogen left? Is one. So you now have what? HSO4 minus. Understand here is that whenever an acid lose the proton, it always forms minus anion. While whenever a base accept the proton, it only forms what? H plus. Do you understand? But it's not like that, because at the same time here, this to also react back to form this other one. Do you understand? So this guy will act as base. This guy will act as acid. Here will act as base. Do you understand? Now here is the acid. Now when the acid lose hydrogen to this guy here to form this guy here, so here is not called conjugate base. Conjugate what? Base. Can you see that? Now this water now that act as acid here, it have accepted what? A proton to form conjugate acids. Conjugate what? Acid. Do you see that? Now, so what are the conjugate base pairs? The conjugate pairs are what? H2SO4 slash HSO4 minus. Can you see that? Why? Here we have H2O slash what? H3O plus. Can you see that as easy as that? Is it difficult? Please pause this video and see how you can do this one. Pause the video and see how you can what do this one here. Pause the video and see how you can do it. So what will happen here? Here is what is the acid. Here is what is base. What will happen here? This base accept what a proton from here. Here we now form NH4 plus, right? Now remember, this guy have lost one hydrogen here. Whenever we want to lost hydrogen, that become OH minus plus what? OH minus, right? Now here's acid. Acid produces OH minus come from what? Conjugate what? Base, right? Why so accept the proton not from conjugate what? Acid. Do you understand? So what are the conjugate pairs? So we have H2O slash OH minus, right? Now here we have NH3 slash what? NH4 plus. Can you see that? Now what about if you are reacting water with water? When you are reacting water with water, it's called auto-ionization of water. So you have H2O plus what? H2O. It's called auto-ionization of water. Either one will be the acid, one will be the what? With base. Do you see that? Now this guy will donate the proton to this other one to form H3O plus. Can you see that? Now why do we now form OH what minus? Here we now have what? Conjugate what? Acid. Here we have conjugate what? Base. This is that. So now this is where your pH calculation comes from. This is where your pH calculation comes from. Yes. So in our next video, we want to look at what pH calculation, very important. But I hope this video will be helpful so far. Please, my goal here is to what? Make you understand chemistry very well, make you understand physics very well, and make you understand mathematics very well. Giving you all the resources, the tools, the contents, and things I know that will be of help to me as a student, because I've helped thousands of students to like gain admission, do well in their year 1, their year 2, and make sure that they finish with good grade. Do you understand? So I have large experience in my physical tutorial, helping students right here in Uniport here. But I want to translate this into online. So this is the video I'm putting up, this online content. So if you have not subscribed to this channel here, please hit that subscribe button. And if this video is helpful so far, please like, make sure that this video is what is helpful. Just if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel here, you may not see my content again. That is, and you lose it forever. And there are some things that are supposed to help you, but you are not going to see it. That's why you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel here. If you want a private class on JAMB, if you want a private class, you can send me a DM or for any of your private class, probably year 1, basic, JAMB, and what A level. Do you understand? I'll be wait for you for me to be your personal tutor. All this video is helpful here. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.